Today's episode is brought to you by my new book, Fuck Whales, Petty Essays from a Brilliant Mind. Pre-order at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or anywhere books are sold. Welcome to the best debate in the universe. Every debate in the universe, from mandatory education to public masturbation. With over 2.5 million downloads, I'm your host, Madcast. Mikey's not in, but with me is BMO, the audio engineer. And as always, my top unit, key grip, deputy cadet moderator, Rucka Ali. Welcome back.
Hi, guys.
Guys, it's another exciting show. This show is episode 69, our big 69th episode. And we thought it'd be appropriate to do a sexual theme for this show. Although, one could argue with me on the show, every episode is sexually themed. But
one could argue that.
Coming up later in the show, we're going to have the debate. What is the most overrated sex position? But first, we have a recap of last week's debate, voicemail, and then some headlines at the end of the show. But I want to welcome back our guests, Ela Darling and Dreadmere. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, you guys are both repeat guests on the best debate in the universe. Ella, what was the topic we debated the first time?
We were talking about Prop 60, which was a stupid law that someone was trying to pass in California, which we defeated. The porn industry won.
Hey, look at that.
Fuck the AHF.
Very cool. And Dreadmere, when you were on, we debated whether or not hookup culture was ruining dating, right?
That's right.
And what was I forget what the results of the debate were. Whatever side I was arguing on, I think won. Pretty sure that's what happened.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure some people... Actually, I mean, there's actually a good discussion about it. There's still a lot of... people are still trying to figure out what... But at the end of the day, I just want people to communicate and talk about it either way. So I don't remember what the voting was on your website, though.
It was pretty much... I'm pretty sure it was just I won. But yeah, it was a really interesting topic and something that's been on the minds of many people. We've talked about and debated, not just on the show, but outside of the show in real life. I talked to some of my friends like that because I feel like the culture has definitely shifted with regards to dating. There is something that's kind of different. Something about how easy it is to hook up these days with so many apps and to communicate exactly what you want, down to the very precise fetish, that people can just find each other much more easily and much more quickly. Can you imagine what it's like in high school today? Dreadmere, can you?
You're in high school, right?
No, but if this technology existed when I was in school, everybody would have been, first of all, pregnancies would have been through the roof. Because I'm in Utah, and they don't teach you contraception. They teach you abstinence. And that shit doesn't fucking work.
I think these dating apps, like Tinder, are mostly 18 and up.
Oh, are they?
I would think so, yeah.
Kids
so
always
there's
abide by
definitely
those.
no way for kids to get on it then.
Yeah. I wonder if there's some kind of a AI technology. Supposedly there is, that they are doing facial recognition to determine if somebody's underage, right? Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I have heard of this.
Yeah. I hope they implement that shit everywhere. It'd be amazing. But anyway, guys, we should talk about the recap of last week's debate. Our guest was Robbie, and we debated whether or not school should be mandatory. And our audience, with an 82% vote, said yes! Smart. Good. Brilliant. And Rucka and I got into a pretty heated debate where you were saying essentially that you don't need to have an education. School shouldn't be mandatory. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, well, it's incorrect.
And then people have spoken.
Yeah. I kept thinking about that debate. I think a lot of people did. A lot of people chimed in the comments. I kept thinking, I think that my contention is, and that is what I truly believe. I was arguing that side of the debate that school should be mandatory. And my contention is that if you don't make school mandatory to a certain point, people won't know how to exercise their freedoms, how to exercise their laws, and how to think. Thinking is not something that happens automatically. How to think is something you are taught.
Well, if you're forced to go to college, then you don't have the freedom to exercise.
Well, you have the freedom to accept or reject any facts you were taught, right?
Yeah, but freedom doesn't exist if you're being forced to do something until you're in your 20s. And why stop there? Why not get a PhD?
If you have a base level of education so that people can think for themselves and know whether or not it's important to have an education. If you don't have enough of a base education to even know whether or not you should have an education or the importance of education, then it's a moot point.
So you need to graduate college to decide if education is for you or not?
No, I think high school. I think the way we have it is...
because last week you were saying force everyone into college.
Well, yeah, that's my own extreme view. I know that's not a view that most people would adopt, I don't think. Ella, what do you think? What do you think about this debate?
Well, that was a question I had when I listened to it do you mean any education or do you mean college? And I think that a certain level of education should be mandatory, because if it's not mandatory, then it becomes less accessible. And making education accessible is important for an educated populace, which is important for a functional society.
Smart. Dreadmere, what do you think about this debate? Do you think that education should be mandatory or not?
I mean, I'm on board with everything that you said so far until you get to the part about teaching you how to think. I think that's where it gets a little nebulous. Like, I mean, people need to be able to read street signs and, you know, not eat poison. I'm fine with that. But if you're like, oh, this is how you could, because that's why I dropped out of college, was when my professors were really trying to implement their ideas, and it was very much their narrative about things that we should be having a discussion about. And I was like, I can't, like, nobody realized what he's doing. Nobody's calling him out on it. I tried to, and he just like tried to embarrass me in front of the class. And so I was just like, it's not going to work. I mean, granted, that was one instance in one college somewhere, but still, like, that there's an opportunity for that. And
that's why I think it's important, though, because you were educated enough to understand and debate the information that he was delivering to you, right?
Right, yeah.
And so I think it's important to have an education so you can question the information that's being served to you and process it critically.
Right. And I mean, I 100% agree. It's just that I guess the thing that was weird is that, like, I was the only one doing it. Is it because they don't have a choice? Do they think they don't have a choice? You know what I mean? Like, nobody really talks about that kind of stuff, about critical thinking in high school and getting up to that point. You know, you kind of just got to hope that the professor goes that way, I guess.
Well, a lot of people also toe the line. If you're in an environment where you feel like your professor or your teacher or your boss or whoever you're working with is going to attack you or going to give you some kind of retribution for bringing up or opposing them, you're in a toxic environment. So if that professor, for whatever reason, you disagree, Ella? Why do you disagree?
I just wanted to disagree on principle.
Okay.
I don't actually disagree.
How dare you? You guys, I'm going to cut like the next 10 minutes out of this podcast. It's going to be intense retribution.
Dino, cut it.
Yeah.
I don't think college should be mandatory, though. And I think that that's a big problem, that young people, when they get out of high school, they think that college is just the required next thing that you do. And so they're either not ready for it or they're just not meant for it. They'd be just as well off in a trade school or by learning by doing. And so they end up putting themselves into massive debt to be in an environment that they're just not really made for or not meant for, and it's just not right for them. I was an RA in college, and I saw this so many times. Kids would come in on these massive scholarships and fucking do coke and fuck off, and they just weren't developmentally ready to be in that environment. And so they ended up wasting college money or wasting their parents' money or putting themselves in debt for something that never benefited them
Joining
in the first
Antifa.
Now that's a cogent argument, Rucka. She just shot down my whole argument
As
that
the
college should be
foremost
mandatory.
academic at this table.
You're the foremost academic? How
Yes.
dare you? How many years of education have you had?
Oh, fuck you.
How many degrees?
I have
How
a
many
master's
degrees?
degree.
She
I have
has a
2
degree.
degrees. It took me 4 years to get both degrees. I will not be shamed for that. I got my master's when I was 21.
You got a master's degree at 21?
Yes.
All right. I am the foremost academic authority hosting the show.
Right.
Correct. That's right.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
she challenged you on the idea of, like, is education necessary and all that, and
College,
college,
specifically,
right?
yeah.
My whole thing last week was, should people be forced to go to school,
Yeah.
especially in college? And so that's what I was focused on. It was more about
The college aspect of it.
not even the college aspect. I'm talking about private citizens, adult people being forced to go to school.
Well, adults, I mean, that's a different story. What we have right now currently in society, I think, works, which is 18 years old. You have to go to school until you're 18.
No, you don't.
Yay.
16
Oh, it's 16?
in most states, I think. Yeah.
That's like a farming holdout from the
I
agricultural
mean,
days.
you can get emancipated, I think, even at 15.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other question I asked last week was, can you be truly free without education? And the choices for voting were no and yes, but I'm an uneducated moron, so my vote doesn't count. And with a 72% vote, no! Yeah! Smart.
Wow.
Yep. I guess people voted correctly last week on both poll questions. This is a huge victory for me. This is a huge mandate for everything I've done for the show. Proves my point. But last week, I'm going to get to the voicemail. We got a lot of voicemail, and a lot especially because Ruck and I had a pretty long and thorough debate about, I don't know how it got there, communism versus free trade and this and that. Because essentially forcing people to get education is some kind of like socialism, right? It's more socialist leaning policy.
I mean, it's government intervention.
Government intervention,
Yeah,
right. So we got a ton of voicemail about that. And I think last episode, I felt like there were a lot of straw man arguments. And I am now proud to introduce a new sound effect on the show. All right, this is from The Wizard of Oz. So anytime on this show from now on, anyone makes a straw man argument.
Anyone?
Anyone.
All right.
That's the sound effect you're going to hear. There it is. All right, but let's get on to some voicemail. I got a ton of voicemail, some really good ones this week. But here's one calling me out.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, I was gonna call in and leave a voicemail, but then I found out that I was gonna be on the show. I want to see if they got the one that I was thinking.
Okay, here's this one.
Hey, Maddox. Fuck ass. You realize that we go to school, so we're not dumb anymore. Obviously, you don't really understand this because you never got a degree. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay, shithead. I don't have a degree, but I might as well have all the degrees because of how smart I am.
Do you have a high school degree?
Yes, I have a high school degree.
Yeah, so you do have a degree.
How dare you?
Burn.
Yeah, thank you. I do have a degree.
GED?
No, I have the actual whatever
Diploma?
the diploma. Yeah,
or whatever it's called.
Right out the gates, douchebag of the week.
Way to
calling
treat
in.
your listeners.
Yeah. Here's another one. This one's calling you out, Rucka.
Oh.
Yeah. 2 call-outs. Listen to this one.
Hey, Maddox. I also wanted to say that Rucka did a really good job this week, proving the point that we really need more education in this society, really more forced education, because the smartest thing he said was that he's not an educated person. Rucka, eat shit, read a book.
Oh, shit, dude. You got called out. What do you think?
Why don't you name some books you've read, Maddox?
I've read Fuck Whales. I've read I Am Better Than Your Kids. I've read Alphabet of Manliness. I finally read it.
That's a lot of books.
3 books.
That's a lot.
Yeah. 3 more than most people have read, I think.
Sadly, you're right.
Yeah. Here's another call. This one's also calling you out, Rucka, about something you said a couple episodes ago. Again, about I brought in a debate a few episodes ago about whether or not you should be allowed to breastfeed a stranger's child. And Rucka essentially said we should abolish breastfeeding because it's cannibalism.
I said we should just kind of maybe start to think about if it's kind of an antiquated practice.
Yeah.
You know, like
cannibalism.
We don't need it anymore. It's kind of weird.
Cannibalism is the word used, I believe. And so all these people called Rucka out on whether or not different aspects of human sexuality or cannibalism. Here's one.
Hey, I got a double caller call out for you, Maddox, coming your way from the East Coast, my boy. To the first one is for Mr. Pussy Eater. You obviously don't eat pussy because you proudly proclaimed it on the airways. Dude, rule number 1 for when you actually eat pussy, you don't use that as a way to make an argument at all, let alone proudly. You sound like a fucking virgin college kid. Get the fuck out of here. Also, to the second one is for Mr. Cards Against Humanity boy. Cards Against Humanity kicks ass. That's how you eat pussy. You get pussy by playing Cards Against Humanity at parties. Check 1 for Maddox, my dudes.
Yeah.
Fucking Aussie.
Yeah, that's right. Score for me. Caller call-out. 2 caller call-outs. So we had a bunch of people shitting on Cards Against Humanity. I guess people are the tides have turned, and people now hate Cards Against Humanity more than they like it. Right? What do you think, Ella?
I am not super invested in it. If I'm going to play a card game, I'm going to play Joking Hazard by our friends.
Oh, that's
Cyanide
right.
and Happiness.
Yeah, Cyanide and Happiness. Our friends made the Joking Hazard game.
Yeah.
Which is actually amazing.
Yeah, I think it's more fun than.
Yeah, it is
Cards
a lot of
Against
fun.
Humanity.
What about you, Dreadmere?
I've never played Cards Against Humanity because I'm too busy eating pussy.
Yeah.
which means I don't, apparently, because I said it over the radio. So,
Yeah. If you use pussy eating as an argument, you don't do it.
Apparently.
That's the
That's
the
weird.
argument
Which
he
is
was
the
making.
argument he did make about himself, as well as that he's super creative and funny for playing Cards Against Humanity.
That's very meta. I think that caller just told us something about himself.
Yeah.
Or his diet, at least. Here's another call. So we got a ton of voicemails about Cards Against Humanity. Here's one from Weird Matthew. Listen to this.
Here's a little Weird McConaughey advice. If you're at a party, it's 2 a.m., and someone breaks out Cards Against Humanity, leave that party. Or grab a football and be like, hey, what's up? And then just toss it right into the Cards Against Humanity. Knock it over. Get the fuck out of there. Knock all those cards over.
Hell yeah.
Mix them up real bad.
Yeah, that's. I don't know when Weird Matthew just became a high school jock bully. Like that's such a bully move. Just show up at a party and it's like 2 a.m. Everyone's having a good time. He just picks up a football, just throws it at the game, knocking all the cards over.
Rips them up, dick.
Yeah, and then just leaves. Like, why don't you just leave? Anyway, here's another one, and then this is another controversial thing that came up that I didn't think would be a controversy on the show, but apparently it is, and we need to talk about it. A caller called in 2 episodes ago, said he was from Alabama. And then the next episode, someone called in and said that accent sounds fake. And now I got another caller calling in to defend the original guy from Alabama. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox, I just wanted to call and say that 2 weeks ago you had someone call into the show saying that he was a truck driver from Alabama. And then last week you had someone do a caller call out saying that that guy had a really, I guess, fake Alabama accent. And I just wanted to say that just because someone says they're from somewhere, like if someone's saying, hey, I'm a truck driver in Alabama, it doesn't fucking mean that they were born and raised in Alabama. The guy could be from fucking Texas, or the guy could be from fucking Europe or wherever and ended up in Alabama and works there. Okay? That's like fucking saying, Maddox, you're from LA. You don't sound like someone from LA. No shit. Maddox was fucking born and raised in Utah and moved out to LA. Why the fuck would he sound like he's from fucking LA? God damn it. Some of your fans are so fucking stupid, Maddox. I love you. You've got a great show, but your fans are fucking idiots.
Yeah, thank you. Finally, someone who gets what I've been saying for years.
About your fans?
About my fans.
Yeah.
Being idiots. I got an email literally this morning, and the subject line was, hey, Maddox. And I opened up the email, it says, you treat your fans horribly. And I just wrote back, you're right, I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you were just going to say yes.
You know what, though? Here's the thing. Here's the real reply I was going to send to this guy. Like, the problem is with some of the fans is that they feel entitled to something. If I don't meet their arbitrary and too high expectations, they get upset and angry at me for not providing free content. That's what they're getting upset. Fuck you. How about that? I don't owe you guys shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you don't owe them a free content, but society owes them free 4 years of college?
Way to tie it back to Hey, look, that's a different argument, and that's one I think less people are on board with. But yeah, I would put people in college. Why not? Here's another call. So I talked about this essay I wrote in college. Speaking of, this is the essay that is basically the template for everything I've ever written. Just about. Since I've written this essay, it structured all my writing. And I had a caller calling in about that.
Hi, Maddox. Just calling in to ask if, one, you should post your super sweet essay that you were talking about in the last episode, because I think that'd be really interesting to read. And two, Mad Cooper, they definitely had a missed opportunity. It should have been Mad Shatter after Mad Hatter. But Mad Shatter is
Mad Shatter.
fucking great.
Yeah.
All right. Love your show. Bye.
Yeah, we also talked about the Mad Pooper in Colorado last week, where someone was running around the town and just pooping everywhere. Which, by the way, this is... I brought in another poop story later on in the show. I'll get to in the headlines. There have been so many poop stories in the news lately.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But the Mad Shatter, that is a missed opportunity. I don't think they'd publish that in the news.
The news has gone to shit.
Yeah. The news has gone to shit. There it is. Yeah, so maybe one of these days I will post that essay. I don't know. Maybe I'll post it in my next book. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, here's another caller. This one's about the New York versus LA debate that we had a couple episodes ago with Michael Malice. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. I just took a poll of 100 billion people who have never been to New York about what is the first thing they think of. And they said a bunch of big fucking skyscrapers. Point Maddox. And I guess we're supposed to give sex to a Nazi? I don't really get it.
Yeah, we're supposed to fuck a Nazi. I don't know. So, but when you think of New York, Dreadmere, what do you think? What's the first thing that comes into your mind?
I guess, yeah, like Times Square, lights.
Times Square, light. What about you, Ella? What do you think?
Sweaty urine trash scents.
Correct. These are all correct
is that
things.
Manhattan?
Yeah, that's Manhattan. Yeah. That's all of New York.
Well, there is only Manhattan, according to you.
Yeah, no one fucking thinks of Queens when they're thinking about New York. No one thinks of Brooklyn.
No?
No, the most iconic thing about New York is the skyline and the Statue of Liberty and Times Square. None of that shit exists in Brooklyn. You know what does? Fucking nothing. There's just a bunch of like 3-story flats that are overpriced. That's it. And a couple of decent sushi restaurants.
That's Brooklyn
That's
and
Brooklyn.
Queens?
Yeah.
Three-story flats and sushi
Oh,
restaurants?
sorry. They have some bakeries and delis.
Oh, that's what I was getting at.
What else? What's in Brooklyn?
Tall buildings, shitty apartment buildings. What's with 3-story flats? You make it sound like a fucking luxury, fucking Martha's Vineyard, some shit.
Yeah, I had a friend who lived in Brooklyn, and he was super excited to show me his apartment. He's like, yeah, I got a 1-bedroom. It's huge for New York. So I show up there, and he's showing me around his apartment, and I walk in, and he shows me the kitchen, shows me the living room, and he shows me the bathroom. And I'm like, I'm waiting for the bedroom, right? Let's see the bedroom. I'm like, so where's your bedroom? He goes, oh, yeah, we just have the bed like right here. I'm like, this is part of the living room, isn't it? He goes, yeah, but it technically counts as a 1-bedroom. I'm like, this is a studio apartment. Fuck you. Don't bullshit me with this fucking New York bullshit. You're living in a fucking studio apartment. Don't try to pass this off just because you put a bed in the middle of the fucking floor. It doesn't make it a 1-bedroom. You have 1 bed in a room. That's not a 1-bedroom, asshole. Anyway, we stopped being friends. Here's and by the way, I may be in New York on the 18th. So I have a book signing coming out in Los Angeles on the release date of my book, October 17th at Book Soup in West Hollywood. But I may be in New York on Michael Malice's show on the 18th. And if I do, I'll probably be there for an extra day to do a couple other shows, maybe even Pod Awful, our very own, if I have enough time. It's gonna be real quick in and out. But anyway, I got a couple more voicemails, and then we should get on to the debate. Here's another one. It's Bad Hombre. He watched my movie Ooga Booga. He has some thoughts.
What's up, cabrones? You know who this is. Hey, Meta, I just saw your movie. What's it called? Ooga Booga and shit? Oh, man. I see why you didn't win any awards, man. I mean, you kind of deserve it. You did a good job acting, but at the end, I kind of figured it out why you didn't win, man. You ended up crying like a little bitch, so, you know, can't give awards to little bitches like you, man. Rucka, I know you got my back on this one. Love you guys.
I think the biggest tragedy in Maddoxonian history is the fact you never promoted that movie. Like, you never made a YouTube video, like, saying, guys, I'm in this movie. Like, holy shit, that shit was fucking meme as fuck.
Yeah, well, I did. I released a couple videos on my channel.
Yeah?
Yeah, an interview about it.
Really?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Where can I see these videos?
I think it's unlisted right now.
Oh, good. Okay. So if anyone has that link, watch it as many times as you'd like, because it's unlisted.
Yeah.
Cool.
The thing is, at the time, I felt like it wasn't really content that was native to my channel.
You don't even understand your own appeal. Dude, your horrible acting in that movie is everything that I want to see.
You know what? You won't see any of it because there is no horrible acting, at least coming from me. Yeah. The award-winning Stacy Keach, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's one last one, and this will lead us into this week's debate. Listen to this guy.
Hey, Maddox, I hope for episode 69 that you and Rucka Ali 69.
All right.
Okay.
That's one idea.
That is one idea.
Before we get into the debate, can I just address something that happened last week?
Yeah.
Because I listened to the show.
Yes.
I like listening to it.
Yeah, me too.
Or watching it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I hear you say something, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, correct him on that. I want to correct him on that. Then I hear my own voice correcting you. So, but I heard myself say something that I didn't like. You brought up having uninsured friends, and I said, well, stop hanging out with losers.
Yeah.
And, like, that's not really the way I see it. First off, let me say, nobody told me to bring this up. Nobody asked me. Nobody contacted me. I heard this. I wanted to bring this up.
Sure.
I don't know which friends you're talking about. Like 9 times out of 10, your friend is someone who emailed you in the past 10 years, from somewhere. Are there people who are uninsured because they're just too incoherent to get their shit in order and make a phone call and get their finances in order? Yeah, we call them the sketch improv comedy community of America. But absolutely, there's a lot of people who are in a horrible position, pre-existing conditions and all that, and there's a lot we can talk about the best way to help them or the best type of society for somebody like that. But I just wanted to backtrack. That one thing, that comment I made was heat of the moment, and I was absolutely picturing just the biggest stoner on earth when you brought up your quote friends. So anyway, that's, if anyone out there was hurt, listen, if you guys at home are not having fun, we're not doing our job.
Right.
Yeah, this is we're yeah.
I gotta say, Rucka's such a classy dude. I mean, this was an authentic. We didn't talk about this before the show. That's a super classy move. Rucka's a classy
I respect
guy.
the fuck out of that, Rucka.
Yeah. Awesome dude. But yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, I don't think anyone really read too much into it.
Do you have any more voicemails?
No more voicemails. You said you wanted to bring something up. Yeah.
Melania Trump is not Croatian. She's Slovenian.
Oh, that's right.
And that's the kind of information you'll never hear on this show.
Yeah. There was one comment I read that had that correction. Yeah, she's Slovenian.
She's from Slovenia.
Slovenia.
What are some of the differences between those two places?
They're very close.
Yeah, master's
degree. She speaks
degree.
Croatian.
Oh, she speaks Croatian?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, her master's degree checks out. Ella is the foremost academic on that side of the room. Now, you have a degree in library science.
Library and information science was my master's degree. My undergrad was forensic psychology.
Wow, holy shit. All right. Well, we're not going to talk about education anymore. We should move on to the debate this week. Guys, coming up at the end of the show, I've got some quick news headlines. And by the way, if you want to leave us voicemail, it's at the website madcastmedia.com. That's also where you go to vote on these topics. I'm interested to see what you guys think of the vote this week in particular, because this week in particular, we're going to do something a little bit different. Every now and then, we'll do a roundtable debate, a roundtable discussion. And this is one of those weeks, because this week, we're going to debate what is the most overrated sex position. With me again is my top unit, key grip, deputy cadet moderator, Rucka Ali. Let's hear your buzzer. Ela Darling, let's hear yours. And Dreadmere, let's hear yours. There it is. If you hear a buzzer from anyone at this table, that means someone has something they want to add to the conversation, something they disagree with. So on to the debate. Ella, do you want to start us off? What do you think the most overrated sex position is?
69. Perfect for episode 69. I think it's terrible.
69. You disagreed?
Right out of the gate.
Dreadmere?
All right.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Why do you disagree?
It's delightful. I don't know. It's a nice relaxing thing that I guess in most sex positions it requires like a lot of vigorous thing. Like it's a nice break kind of sex. Like during sex, you can kind of chill. You can slow down. You can go faster.
Yeah. You have to look at their face.
Yeah, you can forget who you're with for a little while.
I disagree. It is the gift of the magi of sex positions. Because
I have no idea. I'm not a foremost academic. So.
That's one where the wife cuts her hair and sells it to buy like a watch chain or something for her husband. He sells his watch to buy a hair clip for her, and then nobody fucking wins. Because if I'm sucking your dick and you're going down on me, I'm not going to do a good job of sucking your dick, and there's always a chance that my jaw might do something odd in the heat of the moment and your dick is in danger. I don't want to put your dick in danger. I want to be able to focus on the task at hand without a distraction. And 69 doesn't allow anyone to focus. It distracts them. And it's the least effective oral sex because you're fucking distracted by someone else going down on you. Just let me focus on you. You focus on me. Let's just do a really good job at what we're trying to do instead of half-assing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with that. This sounds like so workmanlike. Like, I gotta focus on this task so I don't bite your dick off. Like, is that the?
Yeah.
Well, sex is the labor that I do. So if I approach it, like,
to be fair, yeah, we didn't even mention it on the show. But for those who don't know, Ela Darling is also in the adult entertainment industry.
Yes.
Okay, so there is that background. So yeah, so everything coming does have that additional. Narrative and prism of knowledge, right?
And professional perspective as well.
Professional perspective, yes,
Yeah.
correct. So, Dreadmere, you disagree. You think the 69 is, first of all, you said relaxing.
And delightful, yeah.
Relaxing and delightful.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Now, when does relaxing and delightful make you come at the end? Like, if someone just said, like, hey, let's just hang out, watch TV while 69ing, I'd say, yeah, that sounds like better than not doing anything while watching TV. But
True.
Yeah, I don't know if it's what I look for in sex is relaxing.
I mean, the 69 is never usually like the only thing you do, right? Like it's usually like a lead up to something and stuff like that, or in the middle, whatever. It's like it's nice to do. I don't know, but you kind of won me over anyway when you said that you could snap draw my dick. So I'm like, maybe I don't like it anymore. I never knew. Nobody's ever said that to me. So like, Jesus.
I'm gonna be presumptuous for a moment, but I'm gonna guess that I'm probably the only one at this table who has been on the dick sucking end of 69.
I don't have a dinger.
I don't have a dinger. Let the record say no ding from Rucka.
So having been both in the position of sucking dick and eating pussy, I'm just gonna say that it's the worst of either world.
Wait, so this includes 69 with a girl, which I assume you have done that as well?
There is video documentation.
Oh, so it's documented that Ella has done that. And is it just as bad? Do you think it's just as bad with a girl?
Well, I think it's less dangerous, but it's still like just functionally trying to get yourself into the right position, like your leg starts to fall asleep and it's just, it's difficult to get into. Like, it's just, it doesn't feel organic because you have to stage it.
Okay.
And also it's really hard to shoot. From a porn perspective, trying to cheat out while you eat out when two people are going down on each other is hard.
Cheat out while you eat out. Is that a phrase? Is that an expression in the industry?
I don't know if it's ubiquitous, but it's one I've been using for a while.
That's fantastic. Okay, so everyone's wrong except for me and Dreadmere, I think. So in other words, you're just wrong. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what the secret is. Now, I have had both good and bad experiences with 69. And I always had this impression in my mind through listening to shows talk about 69 and people complain about it over the years that it's like this overrated thing, nobody comes, it's too distracting, et cetera, et cetera. And I always had that point of view in mind because, you know, in the past when I tried it, it was, you know, kind of underwhelming until I had a great experience. And I think here's the key to a good 69. Height. You have to be compatible, and the height is really important because if it's not, if the person on top is too short or too long, then you're going to be in an awkward and uncomfortable position. However, I have had a successful, simultaneous 69 completion. Yeah, hero. That's right.
Yeah, I've had that too.
You've had that too?
Yeah.
Isn't it just like...
It's great. It's great. There's like a lot of visual stimulation. There's like, you're overwhelmed. I think the thing I like about it is that you're overwhelmed. Like yes, it is distracting and in a way, but I think for me, like I like the overwhelming aspect of it. I like the fact that there's so much going on. And so for like that... yeah, it's like kind of a submissive thing for me that I can put my mind in, which is fun sometimes. So yeah.
So it is possible
from the male perspective.
From the male,
right?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I am questioning if your partner's had an equally good time.
Well, the thing is, girls will tell me if they don't like doing it,
Yeah.
and then we don't do it as often. But I'll say, oh, you know, we'll do something. Like I like it sometimes. But then if a girl really likes it, she won't say that. Like she won't say anything. She'll just always go for it. She'll just do it. And that was like my last relationship. We did it all the time. Apparently, she liked it. So
you know, this is a callback to what we talked about at the top of the show. You know how if you're afraid to tell somebody something, you're in a toxic environment. Because you're afraid of what they'll say or their manipulation, their emotional manipulation or abuse or whatever. That also goes to sex. I've never been with a woman who has, quote, faked an orgasm. And I'll tell you how I know. It's because when they don't have an orgasm, they tell me. Because I tell them I don't care either way. I mean, I'm having a good time, and if you're enjoying it, great. Because sometimes I'll have sex and I don't orgasm necessarily. I'm just, it's all for them.
Absolutely. I think that people treat an orgasm like a finish line, and I don't think that that's good for sex or for people.
Correct.
Sometimes I don't have an orgasm, but I have a damn good time, and that's fine.
Right.
And if you're so focused on hitting that point, it gets exhausting for me. It's like now we're having sex to prove something to your ego.
It's
like,
your ego.
it gets harder.
Yeah.
You get over yourselves, guys. Like, here's the thing: women that I'm involved with sexually, I tell them if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. It's no big deal because sometimes it doesn't happen for me, and I'm just I may be tired or not feeling it or whatever. Sometimes it might take a really long time, and you get exhausted. No one wants to necessarily go through a marathon sex session all the time. Someone might just be into a quickie at the moment. But when you free yourself from this expectation and get over your fucking ego, that it's not about your ability. It doesn't necessarily reflect your ability to make them come. It's just about they happen to be in a state right now where they're not necessarily going to do it. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So once you establish that you don't really care, it's not that important, then they don't feel the pressure to lie to you, you fucking idiots.
And on like reversing the genders, I think that women can frequently really fuck up the whole sexual situation by making it like, oh, is there something wrong with me? Am I not pretty enough? Did I do it wrong? Yeah. And then it's like, boner is gone. Boner has left the building.
Right.
Like as soon as you start talking about that.
Oh, it's the worst.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, I've been I was with a girl once who I was just really tired, whatever, and it wasn't going to happen. I was like, hey, listen, it's cool. I still had a good time. Don't worry about it. And she started crying. She's like, oh, I'm so unattractive. I'm
and
like,
then
no.
you got a boner.
What's that?
Then when she started crying.
Oh my gosh, boners.
Hell yeah.
Broke her ocular cavity. Right through her skull. No, but that's like the biggest turnoff, man. Like, if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. Don't fucking take everything personally. It's not about your ego. Get over yourself, you idiot. Yeah, anyway. But I'll tell you why I know this actually happened, the simultaneous orgasm during 69, is because one partner in particular, we'd done it multiple times, and sometimes it happened, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes one of us would and the other one wouldn't, but it was never consistent. And there's no reason that she would lie the one time it actually did happen. And by the way, you can tell. Anyway, so yeah, it can be an okay thing. Anyway, so yours is 69.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other points you want to add to it?
Restricted movement. If I'm giving the best blowjob I can give, I need to be able to move my head and use my hands, and I need to. It's more than just like the small limited angle of movement that I can get when I'm in a 69 position. Like, I don't want to give bad head, and if I'm 69ing with someone, it's not going to be the best blowjob that I can give. And I think that my sexual skills deserve to be showcased in a way that 69 just can't offer.
Interesting. I will say this though, and Dreadmere, this might be a point against you. I don't think I've ever had a 69 where I was on top, because I am afraid that if my knees give out for some whatever, if I fall and slip,
that age.
Fuck you, Rucka.
What?
Not good. Inappropriate. But if I just for whatever reason an earthquake happens and I fall,
yeah,
right, it's just like basically just a jackhammer. I'm gonna kill the person. That's
Weird.
what's gonna
Weird. I have no idea what you're talking about right now. It's so weird.
Because the guy's on top, right?
I've never been on top during 69.
Yeah, me neither.
But you can do sideways. She'll be on top. I mean, it's
gay guys probably do it all the time though.
They probably
right?
do.
They're into it.
I mean,
I've
heard
gay guys love 69.
I've heard that gay guys goes, like sometimes they'll just do oral for years with their partner, and then you know, like people make it out to seem like, oh, they're just fucking each other, like anal all the time, but like realistically, like that's like kind of like a big, I guess, a big step for like some of them, or it just depends on the person, but like oral is like a really big one. So
I love how every statement about gay sex is beginning with "I heard"
from a friend.
Yeah. Hey, well,
I know a guy. I've heard that. I mean, my understanding is like it's a lot of couples. One likes receiving penetration, and one likes penetrating.
That's true. You have a power bottom and a power top, and this. Yeah. Anyway, okay, Ella, that's your choice. 69. Dreadmere, what's yours?
I'm gonna say cowgirl, or any other position where the girl's on top is
cowgirl. What the
reverse, or is that when she's facing you? That's cowgirl.
Cowgirl is when she's facing you, and then reverse cowgirl, she's not facing you.
Yeah,
you can't hate on reverse cowgirl.
You
though.
can't hate on reverse cowgirl.
I have more confidence in reverse cowgirl than I do the other one.
Okay, first of all, what's the problem with cowgirl?
The reason,
super hot.
Yeah, the reason I get too nervous that she's gonna break my dick. Like I'm just, like. I mean, you see it in porn sometimes too, that slips out, and the girl's always quick. She'll put it back in, and it's fine. But like, I still I can't get out of my head. And I think this speaks a lot to your little theories that you've created about how when you're younger, it kind of shapes your sexuality later. Because when I was very young, I think I was watching like a Ray William Johnson video or something like that.
Of course, he had something to do with this.
Yeah,
doesn't he always? He was telling a story, or I honestly don't know if it was him. So let me just don't quote me on this. But some big YouTuber is telling a story about this guy who was having sex with his girlfriend, and then she landed on his dick in a really bad way, and then it turned into like this bruised black mushroom where they had to put it in a cast and go to the hospital. And I saw that when I was like 12 or 13, like right at my puberty, and so I was like okay, like I did. That's all I can think about. So I'll do it. I'll participate in it, but like it's short, and I have finished, but it's not often I finish from it, and so I usually like to be on top.
Onision, if you're watching or listening, you ruined cowgirl for Dread.
Wow, man, it sounds like a real traumatizing experience you had.
Well, I mean, I didn't break my dick, but I'm just saying, like,
Well, maybe it's an opportunity to challenge yourself on this and get over this fear. You know,
self improvement.
If any listeners are listening right now, willing to help out Dreadmere get over this, we just want to help. We just want to help.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you guys are so down with reverse cowgirl. I feel like you're far more likely to break someone's dick in reverse cowgirl because the angle of penetration is so off. I feel like that is like really good for porn because you can get a really good angle, but like I don't do that in my personal life.
The thing is, I love doggy style, and that's just kind of like doggy style. So like I can kind of make my peace with it. But when the girl's on top, and I'm just like, I don't know, man.
It gives you a break, though. Sometimes you need a breather, don't you?
Also, sometimes that's the only way a girl can get off is if she's on top.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
that's it.
It's really good to. It's in my experience, cowgirl is the best way to make yourself squirt if you are a squirter.
Interesting.
I think reverse cowgirl is it's nice to see her burn some calories. And also,
there you go.
It's the best. It feels like you get the most real estate of movement. You know, like she's able to cover more acreage when she's facing the opposite way. And it's in some weird way, it's a little bit less personal too. So
wow,
I have issues with that.
Yeah, we're talking dick size in acres now. So
I agree. It is a little less personal, which is, I think, a plus. You know, again, you don't have to look at the face.
She could be anyone.
especially with the depends on the hair color. You'd be like, wow, who is that?
Yeah, is that Melania Trump? Is that someone from Slovenia?
The Slovenian Melania. Yeah.
I don't think reverse cowgirl gives you anything that Doggy doesn't, and Doggy gives it better.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, if it's a contest, I would say Doggy is great, but like, well, you know, yeah, it's nice. It's nice to sometimes just kind of sit back and you know, watching her enjoy it can be a turn on. It's like
great.
You know, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. But here's the problem with Doggy. All right, now I know no one's saying this is an overrated sex position, and it's not my choice. But I will say this about Doggy: if they have a really big ass, if the girl has a really big ass, then things get in the way. It's not as it's not as functional. Doggy is supposed to be conducive to sex and penetration, right? But if the ass is really, really big,
or the dick is really small,
it's always the big ass.
Yeah,
it's
don't
the
you
big
hate
ass,
when you have
Ella.
sex with a
That's
girl
the
that has a
problem.
big ass? Oh god,
Yeah.
no, dude, what are you talking about? Like, that's great. It's great. Well, for me, I don't know. I like it. I like it if a girl has a nice ass and, like, you know, it doesn't get in the way. I don't know why. I've heard that before. I remember my friend in high school asked me one time, because I had a girlfriend who had a pretty curvy body at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, but like, aren't you worried that it's like you might not even be able to fuck her because it's so big?" I'm like,
yeah.
What? No, like that's never happened to me.
That's the
like,
problem, Dreadmere. It's sometimes it gets too big.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
I mean, you know how it all works, right? Like the mechanics of it all.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you had sex before, Maddox? Before we continue the discussion.
Yes, I've had tons
Any listeners out there want to show Maddox how doggy style works?
No, I mean it's fine. It's great. It's all right. Fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It's like people
you sound like the last girl I had sex with.
What's that?
You sound like the last girl I had sex with. No, it's fine. I'm fine. Okay.
Anyway, okay. So your choice then is cowgirl. Wrong answer. And also, here's the other thing I like about cowgirl is that when it's happening, right, and especially reverse cowgirl, if they're, it's something I can't quite control. But if somebody says something really corny, like during sex, it's involuntary. My eyes will just start rolling. And so if that happens during reverse cowgirl, I won't get caught. So that's
there was a girl that I was with in high school when I was going down on her, and she just started singing that George Michael song. She was just going doo 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 doo.
Oh no!
And it was so awkward and goofy, and I never forget it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But I was in love with her, so I was like, it's fine. I'm not gonna say anything.
I say some really corny shit during sex. My partner that I'm monogamous with, like, I'm really glad that we're comfortable enough for me to say really stupid dad jokes, because we'll just stop and laugh and then keep fucking.
Oh well, there you go. Now I'm a big fan of jokes during sex. That's fine.
And
that's fine. Yeah, those are hilarious. Yeah, especially if there's an unexpected like queef or a fart or something. I mean, you know, it depends on how the person you're with and how they handle it. But like occasionally that can be like a comedic relief during a really intense and sometimes sad, sometimes dramatic sexual experience. The sex is drama, right? Sex is drama.
Force.
They're what?
It's a tour de force.
It's a tour de force. That's right.
Yeah.
You need a little breakup in there. All right, so you got your cowgirl. Rucka, what's your sex position? It's overrated.
Hope it's not the same one you brought in.
I don't think so.
Anal.
Anal?
That's not yours, is it?
No, it's not mine.
I was going to ask if yours starts with an A, but then I'm guessing it still begins with the word ass, and then there's 10 words after it, so we'll get to you later. But yeah, I brought in anal. That's a position, right?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So what's the big fuss about it?
It's taboo.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You feel like you're doing something you shouldn't. That's the thing about anal.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of things you shouldn't do.
That's true. That's true. But we're talking about the legal ones.
Okay, listen. Should everyone try it once? Yeah, but among consenting adults, I would safely in a safe environment with
podcast co-host watching
with no breakable equipment around. Like
right.
absolutely.
Right.
sure, try it. But I don't know. Like, people are like obsessed with it. The fucking, I'm sure anal porn is like probably the top searched or one of the top viewed, and people spend years trying to talk their partner into it, and it's like, why? Like, what is the regular thing just not good enough? I can understand someone wanting to receive it. I can understand if people that there's something it does for them receiving anal, but why does anyone want to give anal so bad? I just don't get it.
I mean, it's like during sex, it's fun to switch from like just regular sex to oral, right? So it's kind of like, oh, now there's a third option. You know what I mean?
Right, but
like,
then if you do go to anal, there's very few people would be willing to go back to oral or even back to vaginal. So at that point, it's like you better. It's like it's like you've bit off a fucking librarian.
What, you bit off more than you could chew?
Yeah, you put your money where your mouth is. I don't know. There's like something here. It's like you've committed to finishing.
Literally money, though, because if you go ass to vag, you're going to need antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Is that where you want to put your penis, guys? Somewhere where you then it's dirty and you can't put it somewhere else.
You're closing doors for yourself.
Yeah,
I see anal
there's
sex.
the analogy: closing doors. You're burning bridges.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like a souffle, right? So a souffle takes a lot of pre-production. You have to do everything just right, and then you've got this very decadent dessert. With anal sex, you have to start preparing the night before. You have to look into what you're eating. You have to kind of fast the day of. You have to clean out your asshole either with an enema or like it's an experience. Otherwise, you're gonna have poop on your dick.
No, I have never had poop on my wiener. Not even a molecule of it. And that's even after like experimentation. Like, here's the thing: you don't have to do that much planning. The partner can do it for you. Like, you take them to a nice restaurant, you order them a salad. Like, she'll be having the salad. She'll be like, I think I want the pasta. No, she'll have the salad.
No, but the
Maddox's science corner.
Greens can actually irritate your stomach. I know several porn stars who specifically won't eat salads in the day before they do anal because it'll irritate their stomach. And they'll end up having a bad time.
Like, I don't know what kind of weird like horses you guys are having anal with, but like I've never had a bad anal experience. That's the one thing I was bracing myself for. I was like, oh, this is gonna be gross. I'm gonna have to, this is gonna be weird, whatever. Never, not a single time. Not a single time was it weird or gross or anything like that. Yeah.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, I've had so I've been with about 30 plus women in my whole life, and I've only ever had anal sex with 4. So I think that's about the statistic, right? It's like I think 4 in 10 women are trying. I don't know. Anyway, it's never been a or maybe it's 3 in 10. But it's never been a bad experience. It's all, but it's two of the times were with partners, and then the other times were with girls who were just like down for it, I guess. But it's always pretty fun. It's like if I have the opportunity, I guess I'll do it. But like, yeah, it is like a finish line thing you do in sex. Right. But like, I have no idea what you're talking about it being like.
You're from Utah. I think you have a weird.
Here's the thing. I will say this in Utah, because everyone has this weird hang up about sex in general, and they want to retain their virginity. More girls than not are really into anal because they think that they are preserving their virginity for marriage. So they'll go straight up into butt sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're in a weird place where like people that are like long-term dating are doing anal every night. It's like, okay, maybe we need to rethink this.
I enjoy anal, but you can mess up your butthole. And maybe I'm talking about the pre-production because everybody I know and talk about anal with are professionals, and so we follow a procedure for anal off camera that we would on camera.
What is there a procedure you can discuss without getting too like? What is the procedure?
You
said an enema, right?
Yeah, you do an enema like maybe an hour or 2 before your scene. So you get water up there, you clean everything out until everything comes out clean, and then you prep with a toy about the size of whatever you're going to be putting in your ass.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of work. I've never had to do any kind of like. Here's the thing. I think the diet does have a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And if you're eating a protein rich diet, you're not going to have a lot of Klingons. Like, here's the thing. Carbs come out like peanut butter.
You actually want fiber.
Fiber.
Yeah. They sell these butt pills for men. I think it's called Pure for Men, and it's psyllium husk. And it's basically $30 for a jar of these pills that you take like 4 to 6 a day, and it makes your poop super clean, so you can have easy anal sex. But you can get the same thing from CVS for like $10. It's just Metamucil.
I bought some what's it called, the psyllium husk or whatever. Yeah. I didn't know what it was. It was just someone told me, oh, you got some psyllium husk. It's really good for you. So I got it and put it in like a smoothie. and the shit turned to concrete. Basically, it's the psyllium husk. I don't know what it is, but as soon as you add water to it, it just like becomes this mush, and you can't do anything with it. You need a spoon to eat your fucking smoothie.
You should take capsules and you should drink a lot of water, but it's like a sponge. It just like cleans out your intestines.
Oh, is that what it is?
The only preparation I've ever had was I was with this punk chick for a while, and we were like cleaning out her apartment and stuff, and then she came across like this lubricant that she had for a while, and she didn't know it was there, and she was like, "Oh, here, take this. If you ever want to shove anything up my ass, like just use this."
Oh, lube shooters?
Oh, that's so thoughtful. It was like it's a travel size lubricant, if you're on the go. But so yeah, she just gave me that. So like that's the only time we ever had preparation. I mean, I like the faces that Rucka's making, but this is his topic.
Yeah, I brought it up because it's just not. Yeah, it's just not my thing.
Look, I get it. It's a closer. You don't want to go from A to M or A to V most of the time, right? In the heat of the moment, maybe if shit's going bonkers, if she's going nuts.
Oh,
can't help it.
Good.
Can't help it. They're just too turned on.
Here's a point. Anal sex. Unprotected anal sex where someone ejaculates into your butthole is the highest risk form of sex because it's the easiest way to transmit STIs.
Why is that?
Well, because that's like the end of your intestinal tract. So that's the point where it's like really trying to suck the final bits of nutrients out of your food. And this is why for so long people thought that gay men or that HIV was a gay disease because gay men tend to have more bareback anal sex than straight people.
I guess there's no risk of pregnancy, which is one of the big concerns of having sex in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that makes sense.
There's many agents in porn actually won't even hire, or they won't let companies hire their girls to do anal cream pie because it's just too high risk.
Wow. Well, you got to have a good agent in this town. I've always said.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. And like the vagina, you might have sort of touched on this. No pun intended. The vagina, it stretches and then it comes back, like that's how it's designed. And yeah, sometimes women that have had, a 15-pound baby, their vagina will never quite be the same. But for the most part, a vagina, you stretch it and it comes right back. Your butthole, not so much. Your butthole, it's like you stretch it out. It doesn't want to be stretched out.
Yeah. Well, I've had this debate with actually girls. So sometimes if the conversation comes up, if someone I'm dating, I'm like, oh, have you ever tried this or whatever, we'll talk about it. And one girl in particular, I remember talking to her. She's like, no, I don't want to stretch out my butt. And I said, well, I mean, you've had really big poops. So whatever, like it can accommodate a decent sized log, I'm sure. That's not an argument because your butt does that too with turds all the time.
Yeah, but if you ever do push out like a hard turd, like a hard one, your butthole is not happy about it.
Well,
and a thick hard turd. That's why you're supposed to eat fruits and all that shit.
Don't tell me what my butthole's happy about.
This guy's a fucking he's like a fucking Armenian Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Fucking this guy, he pours a fucking mountain of red pepper on every slice of pizza.
Yeah.
God knows what his turds look like. He's a fucking machine.
They're cool.
God bless you.
Yeah.
I never respected you. I never respected you in any way until I saw the way you eat mountains of crushed red pepper.
Yeah.
Then I began to respect you.
Smart. Yeah. Thank you.
Pooping doesn't make your anus prolapse.
Oh, that's
typically.
Well, depends on how hard you push. I've almost fainted a few times.
I believe it, but I guess listen again. I'm no scientist.
True,
but your butt wants to poop. Okay, that's what it's for. So whatever happens when you poop, your butt tends to recover from that. But an object going in from the other end, that's not what your butt. That's not how God designed your butt. How's that for science?
Yeah,
I do like anal. I mean, I'm going to be upfront about that.
Hero. Yes.
Hero.
All right.
Patriot.
Patriot. That's right. Yeah. Ela Darling, a patriot.
Yeah.
Yeah, for her country. All right, guys. Well, we've heard all this nonsense, all right? We've heard all you guys' silly theories and stuff. Now, I have a pick that I knew no one would pick, no one would duplicate because it's very controversial.
Something we've never heard of.
Because nobody does it except for Maddox.
Yeah. Nope, it's not controversial at all, and that's why
I know what it's going to be.
It's controversial.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Getting your dick sucked.
Correct.
Oh,
yeah.
Mr. Contrarian.
Blowjobs are my pick.
This guy is such a fucking negative person. What's wrong
You're
with...
literally shitting all over my fucking sex position here.
Isn't that the point?
Yeah, I'm the negative one. Let me at least tell you. Well, yeah, what?
I'm negative.
You're negative about my negativity.
Negging on your negativity.
Yes, that's what you're doing.
All right.
Yeah. Can you be positive about my negativity for once?
Let's hear. Let's support him in his shitting on the world's most favorite pastime.
Blowjobs.
Yeah.
Overrated. That's right. Yep. Oh, blowjobs are overrated, and frankly, they're kind of boring. They're fine. I've had some good ones. Dreadmere's give me a look.
No, I'm just super interested. I really want to hear this.
I mean, look, first of all, there's an art to it. And a lot of girls say, oh, guys are really bad at blowjobs. And they are, cunnilingus.
What
lot
does
of
that
guys.
mean? What do you mean guys are bad
Well,
at
I'm talking
blowjobs?
specifically about
guys are
the
bad
female,
at giving oral, or guys are bad at getting blowjobs?
No, guys are bad at giving oral. But I think just as many women, if not more, are bad at giving blowjobs. I've gotten some really just gnarly ones where I don't know, did a guy never tell you in your sexual upbringing that teeth are not a good thing?
Some guys actually do like teeth.
Okay, some guys, what percentage would you say? Like
Probably pretty slim.
Yeah, like less than 1%. I would say like teeth. And by the way, if you like teeth on your dick, then fucking go to the bathroom and run a comb over it, you idiot. Like there's nothing stopping you from just banging your dick into things around the house. Great. Yeah, awesome.
Great argument.
Thank you. One of the first times I ever got oral, it was this girl, and thank God this fucking trend is dying or dead. But she had one of those tongue piercings. The little rod in there, and it was one of the most uncomfortable blowjobs I've ever had.
Oh, I like those.
You like that?
Yeah, they're nice.
It's awful. It's like all the greatness of a blowjob plus a rod poking your dick. It feels like you're sticking your dick into a tackle box.
Well, it's not a rod. Was it a rod or a little ball? Because she had a little like ball on her tongue.
It was the balls on the end of a rod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't feel the rod, right?
I mean, it's a rod. What are you?
You
What
feel
is
the
it?
ball. You feel the ball. You feel the coldness of the ball and the warmness of her mouth. It's a nice little.
No, the ball is warmed up in her mouth. It's been in her mouth all fucking day.
I don't know. I feel it's a different sensation. Like you feel like it feels kind of.
It feels hard and terrible.
You can feel the daddy issues running up and down.
If you like that shit so much, just go to the fucking hardware store and buy some ball bearings.
Okay, that argument can be said for any position. If you like it so much, go get a household object that feels like it's similar in structure. All right?
Yeah, fine.
A fucking a restaurant glove, the gloves that have the pattern on them.
Right.
How's that any different than a vagina?
What the fuck are you talking?
It's got the same fucking like weird like fucking frictiony pattern. Yeah.
Frictiony pattern.
If you like sex so much, go get a fucking glove from a kitchen of the restaurant and you're set.
Okay, we're going to address this in a second, but Ella, see what I'm talking about? That before the show, I said this will be a fun topic to talk about because we'll always get some weird insight about sex from somebody, and we just got it.
Yeah.
All right, why do you think the inside of a vagina feels like a dishwasher glove?
I'm not saying it feels the same. It's moist. It's It's
ribbed.
It's got a woman attached to it.
Crisscross patterns
with boobs and stuff. But the pattern is similar, isn't it?
No,
No?
it's not. No. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean the pattern? What pattern are you talking about? What do you?
I don't mean it's like perfectly like. I don't mean that like that the inside of a vagina is like perfectly patterned that way. But it like the.
Wait, you can clean dishes with your vagina? I don't understand. Look,
Wow.
man,
I had a point to make.
I love
Okay,
this.
but if you're going to use an inanimate object to substitute a vagina, why not use a fleshlight which is modeled after a vagina?
There you go.
Yeah, well, if it's something around the house, like if you're in a pinch, and
Use your hand like a fucking pilgrim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you use your hand like a pilgrim.
Pilgrim style.
I jacked that joke from my friend Sovereign Sire. She's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I wanna
yeah,
give
I
credit.
started following her on Twitter.
She's
Sorry,
great.
yeah, she's
She's
great.
great.
So anyway, back to the blowjob.
Mm-hmm.
We're going on this weird tangent about vagina textures. The blowjob I feel like is super overrated, and here's the other thing that sucks about it is the pressure from society to like them. Like every time, like I feel like as a guy, if it's taboo, you can't say blowjobs are just okay. It's like sacrilege.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't love blowjobs? What's wrong with you, bro? You don't like your dick sucked? Huh? What's wrong with like?
You just haven't had the right blowjob, I bet you here.
No,
I'm
now
not actually taking that position.
I walk around with that weight on my shoulders all the time. It's like, God, everybody thinks I love blowjobs. I don't know what to do with myself. I can't go to work. It kills me.
Yeah. I mean, look. Now I have had some good ones, and when you're with someone who knows what they're doing. It's no longer this process and this chore, like I have to pretend like I'm super into it. It's something where I don't even have time to react. It's like, oh, shit, I didn't expect that to happen. And it's done. I was, yeah.
Spontaneous blowjob.
Spontaneous, yeah. I mean, you know, there's a time and a place for it. But, man, it's so fucking overrated.
There's some interesting things you can do, though. Like you can, she can put ice cubes in her mouth. That's pretty fun. No?
You're into the spectacle of sex, it seems like. The rods, the cubes.
Maybe.
What else? Like what else do you like?
I mean, a lot of the things I do think about thinking like that's gonna be a good story after. So, you know, it might not just be about the experience, but it's like sometimes I'm just like, yeah, well, I can say I did it. A lot of things I do in life, not just sexual, I'll be like, well, at least I can say I did it. And
yeah.
Like, so
I'll give you that. No, the ice cube, that's the other thing. I tried the ice cube thing, and I'm like, wow, now I'm just losing my boner because it's in something cold. That's not how boners work. You're not meant to put it in cold things. By nature, that's a sign. Nature's like, hey man, pull out. This is dumb. Whatever you're doing. We don't know. Like, your dick is blind, but it's like, well, this doesn't feel right. I'm going back in. What the fuck are you doing? Like fucking an igloo, dude. That's I don't get the ice thing. The hot wax thing is also weird.
I like wax.
Wait, what is that? What is hot
But
wax?
I'm on the wiener. It's like,
oh, I don't have a wiener, but I don't put it on genitals. I think that is dangerous.
yeah, it's just like hot wax. The hot wax is a thing. You always see it in softcore porn. Like it's the hottest thing ever.
They make
and then as an adult, you're
like candle wax or like
yeah, candle wax.
Oh,
They
okay.
make sex candles that have a very low melting point.
Okay.
And they're fun. It's very hot, but
Sounds messy.
It's
I don't
also
like
very
messy
hot.
things.
It dries really quickly, so and you know what? It is messy. You get then you get the friction of actually fucking, and then you've got little bits of wax everywhere, and then you have to change your sheets, or else you feel
like I don't want to have to do laundry and shit. Like I just
it's a chore.
Yeah, it's a chore. It's like, oh fuck, and then honey. Oh gosh,
What?
now it's fucking everywhere. Oh great, a honey blowjob. Is this for you or for me? Why are you putting honey on it?
If you put that dick in a vagina with honey on it or honey residue, you're going to give that vagina a yeast infection. There's nothing
And
sexy about
ants.
yeast infections.
Yeah, and ants. Quit putting fucking food on your.
Yeah, I don't like food and sex
blowjobs.
at all in any part, in any capacity. Like food and sex should not.
I think if you're gonna do food and sex, you shouldn't half-ass it. You should go all out. You should get like fucking, like some crawfish.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Crackers. Yeah, a sandwich, a big ass fucking hoagie. Just fucking go to town and meal. Get it done. Get it done. Don't fuck around with like crackers and shit, or what else?
Like whipped
the
cream?
edible panties. The what?
Oh, I was saying whipped cream is a common
Whipped
thing.
cream is
I don't
another
like- I
one.
don't like
I was
whipped
like, oh, now here's this thing. It's whipped cream. It's all so convenient in the can. Now I'm gonna spray it on your fucking body where it's inconvenient for me to eat. That's dumb.
I feel like that's something that people who are in high school think is a thing that people do to have like really good kinky sex before they know what sex is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I think the same about 69 though. I think that, it's this funny catchphrase, everybody, 69. It's just they titter and giggle about it. And it's like, no, it's not. Do grown-up sex, do good sex that doesn't fucking suck. Also, fuck flavored condoms. They're gross, and you're supposed to suck off all the flavor before you put it in someone, and then there's no lubrication on it. It's fucking nasty.
So what do you do? Just like take the condom out of the package and just like suck on it for a few minutes?
Well, you're supposed to put it on someone's dick and use that to give a condom blowjob.
That's like safe sex, right?
Yeah.
That's what they tell you. And if you weren't in Utah, they would have taught you in health class. Now, if you're gonna have a blowjob, you'd better wear a condom. And everyone's just like, then why even bother, right?
Yeah. What's the point?
By the way, I'm kind of with you on this. Like, blowjobs are cool once in a while. I mean, I like the position, but as kind of a prelude to, sex. By the time I'm done, I'd like to be, choking somebody and fucking taking action. I don't want to just be sitting there. I think like a full blowjob is like kind of a once in a while. Like I'm going to a job interview kind of thing,
right?
I can use some support.
Yeah,
like that's what I like. Once in a while, where it's we're on vacation. We just landed, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. That's a good. And also, it's one of those things where you don't have time for the full thing. Okay, you're on a plane somewhere,
there you go.
You're in an elevator, you're in a maintenance closet. You're in a Halloween store shopping for costumes.
It's an achievement. It's an achievement that you unlock.
Yeah,
and then it's done. And then like, I don't even think you need to finish the blowjob. You're just like, oh, I sucked that person's dick in this place. We did that.
I will say this. Roadhead. Okay.
No.
It's an interesting. I was thinking about that.
What's your objection to Roadhead?
the same objection I have to 69ing in that your dick is in danger.
Yes, and that's super hot. That's the thing I like most about it, because you're both in danger. Because if you get in a wreck, you're losing your dick, and she's also going to probably get her head broken.
Oh my God, I just read a story about...
You're both going to get hurt or killed.
Yeah, there was a couple that was trying to have sex, I think, in Mexico or something. They were driving while having sex, and it didn't end. They both got hurt really bad.
Of course, Mexico had something to do with it.
Yeah, it wasn't the roadhead. But no, that's something I think is super fun. I almost got pulled over by a cop one time, and I was like, oh shit, I don't, like, quick, give me a jacket or something. I don't know what to do. And then thankfully the cop had his lights on, and I'm like, oh fuck. And then he went around, he was trying to pull someone else over. I'm like, oh, dodged a bullet.
You would
continue
have to register as a sex offender.
Really?
For the rest of your life if you got caught that way.
No shit.
If you get caught pissing in public, that's a sex offense, and you have to register. You're on the registry.
I've heard that. Haven't they changed that law? Is that no longer a thing?
I feel like that happens all the time. That's crazy.
I mean, you gotta pee sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta pee sometimes.
It might have changed. I may be misinformed on that. But if you get caught doing a sexual act on the fucking highway, you're not living close to a school for the rest of your life.
You know, I like the point you made about.
What's the bad news? Says Maddox.
Yeah. Can I voluntarily?
Can I volunteer to be a sex offender?
Yeah.
Keep the kids away from. It's look, call me fucking Grandpa Rucka. You know, call me boring and out of touch, but I've never really saw the appeal of risking my fucking life, getting head while driving. Like, can we just fucking pull over? Can we fucking? Can we get take $20 and get a room real quick? Like, why do I need to fucking? Why do I need to be? Yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm not cool, man.
Yeah, kill the spontaneity.
Spontaneity. You want to fucking? Do you want to be driving next to someone that's coming while driving?
I mean, I'd rather them do that than road rage. If it calmed them down, maybe.
Do you want to be crossing the street while oncoming drivers are getting their dick sucked?
Well, here's the thing. Yes, because if they slam on their brakes, someone might lose an appendage. Think about it.
So you're saying they're more careful when they drive?
They're more careful when they drive. They probably drive slower.
So you don't want them hitting the brake?
Yeah, they're driving too slow.
Oh.
Right? And I'd prefer that as opposed to somebody driving too fast and then not paying attention. Look, it's probably safer than texting while driving. Right?
I mean, if that's the bar you're setting.
That is the bar I'm setting. And I also prefer it to a truck driver jacking his hog. Like, I don't want that shit going on. By the way, that's just creepy.
I mean, truck drivers are like their own class. I trust them.
They should definitely be put on a sex offenders list if you're just jacking yourself
First
while
off,
driving a truck.
Truck drivers are already on the sex offender list.
Have none of you jerked off while driving?
No.
Have I? I think I thought about it once.
I was, I think I may. No, I don't think so. No, it's not, because it's also.
It's more cumbersome, I guess, when you have a penis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If I was a girl, I'd be masturbating 24/7.
Yeah, my fingers would look like if you've been washing dishes for too long. All wrinkly.
I've masturbated while driving, and if you're driving like 12 hours and you're on open highway and there's nobody around you, it's a really nice way to engage your brain, and it's fun.
Yeah, no one's.
I've helped a young lady, get a climax while she was in the passenger seat.
Oh, you sure it was okay then? You didn't have to pull over and make plans
and
get a hotel room?
The person driving me is not ejaculating, so there's no risk.
Well, your hands
are
no
different than adjusting the fucking hitting
the radio dial.
The radio dial.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I get what you're saying, but you make it sound like every time you come, your arms are just like flailing.
Yeah. There is that split second where it's like a fucking sneeze, and you don't even remember where you are for a second. Is that where you want to be when someone else is fucking crossing the street where they shouldn't be, or some other driver gets in your lane and he's in your blind spot, or whatever it is that's going to happen?
I am hyper focused at all times. I'm hyper aware and hyper focused at all times. I can get a blowjob. I can be coming. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm like a fucking laser beam.
Maddox is coming.
Yeah.
We'll see how you feel when somebody that you love gets hit by a car because they just had to get their dick sucked right then on the road.
Killer Roadhead.
Yeah, Killer Roadhead.
Sounds
that
like
could be a movie.
Ooga Booga Part 2.
Yeah, oh my gosh. In your dreams. You put that cast back together.
Yeah.
You can't because Karen.
One of them's dead.
Yeah, Karen Black.
Is that the one that was like the star of the movie that was in one scene?
No, it's Maddox. Maddox is the star.
Yeah,
of the
but
movie.
whose name was on the cover of the DVD?
Oh, Karen Black and Stacy Keach.
Okay, and and is Karen Black the one that wasn't in the actual movie?
She was in the movie.
She was in one scene.
She had a hot. Yeah,
she was in one scene.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
she was
scene.
5 minutes. She's the star of the movie.
5 minutes.
That's great.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking role.
Good.
I got a speaking role.
I'm glad you guys threw her that bone.
Yeah, and by the way, that was she passed away shortly thereafter. I think that was the last movie she acted in.
Wow.
So I have the distinct honor of saying that I have been in a Karen Black movie, her last. Wow. So when people look her up forever, they're gonna say, "Oh, let's see, let's watch how her career went out. Let's see, let's watch it. Oh, there's this delightful young lad named Maddox who's also playing skis in this movie. What a good movie." Good story.
Definitely.
Anyway, guys, I think we've all made our case for this debate. If you guys want to vote on this, go to madcastmedia.com. I already know I'm going to lose this one, but that's okay, because I know it's a very controversial pick, but I'm glad that we have a little bit of an overlap in our philosophies towards that.
Mm-hmm. So I think this is the most agreement we've had.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. All right, guys, don't forget to vote on this topic at madcastmedia.com. I know I'm going to lose this debate. It's a very controversial pick, but here's something that you'll be happy to lose. $30 off your first week of deliveries with HelloFresh.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring the show. I have a HelloFresh story. This just happened. So I just got back from DC, and I was out there to do a talk and a reading for my new book. But I missed my flight. And it was because the person who booked the flight said it was a red eye. And I just assumed that red eyes are usually around midnight, because they usually are. And HelloFresh sent me all these ingredients to cook some of the meals as a demo for this promotion on Madcast Media. So I looked at the menu and the ingredients that they sent me, and one of them was this Juicy Lucy burger that they have. This amazing looking burger, which, by the way, I made, and it is comparable to some of the best burgers I've had in Los Angeles. If you come to Los Angeles, there's a place called Stout Burgers, and they have this really big, juicy burger with grilled onions on top, I think some kind of cheese and some arugula. Well, the ingredients for this burger, this one they sent me from HelloFresh, is practically the same thing. Different kind of cheese, but it was a very juicy, very tasty burger. So I made this thing, and it's very comparable. It's a really delicious burger. I made this burger the night I was supposed to leave for my flight. And while I was casually eating this burger, I decided to look up my flight and see when it was. And the flight said it was at 9:20 p.m. I looked at the clock and it was 8:40. So I completely missed my flight. And I was so late for this flight, I didn't even go into panic mode. So I just continued eating this delicious burger. Thank you, HelloFresh. Yeah. No fault of their own, obviously. But guys, these meals are amazing. Thank you for everyone who's tried it so far. Keep sending me those pictures and those stories of your experience with HelloFresh. It's $30 off your first week of deliveries with the code MADCAST30. And here's the beauty about HelloFresh. You don't have to be a cook. You don't have to be really good at cooking, because they send you all the ingredients. They're pre-measured out. Mm-hmm. They're pretty simple. So you will have everything you need to make these meals from start to finish, usually most of them in under 30 minutes. And they're pretty low calorie as well. Most of the meals are under 800 and 900 calories for 2 servings. It's a fantastic meal. Again, that's MADCAST30 for $30 off your first week of deliveries. Thank you again, and check out the website. I'll link to it from ours. But now it's time to move on to the Rucka wrap-up. Rucka, do you have a wrap-up for us this week?
Yeah. Wrap it up.
It's a Rucka wrap-up.
Yeah.
That's the most cogent Rucka wrap-up I think we've had on the show. But we should move on to some quick news headlines. Guys, this is one. It's very appropriate for our 69th episode. It has to do with swingers. A swinger party went bad when a jealous wife attacked her husband with a minivan. I don't know if you guys heard about this. This is from mlive.com. In Bay City, Michigan, a swingers party gone awry has led to a woman facing 3 felonies. Deputies arrived to see a red or maroon, it says red or maroon, guys pick one, Dodge Caravan in front of a residence, and 28-year-old Amber K. Showmaker trying to enter the home with a screwdriver in her hand. Also outside was her 33-year-old husband, who was bleeding from a wound to his forehead, court records show. So she stabbed this guy in the forehead with a screwdriver. And then the 26-year-old female resident who called 911 told deputies and her 31-year-old fiance that Showmaker was over for a swingers party, according to police. Amber Showmaker was downstairs with a female resident's fiance, and her husband was upstairs with a female resident. When the pair upstairs came down, Amber Showmaker slapped her husband and went outside. The other 3 people followed her, only to see her get in a minivan and drive toward them. The minivan went up over the curb and onto the sidewalk where her husband and the hosts were standing.
Wow.
Yeah, a swinger party gone bad. Yeah. What do you think, Ella? So, as someone in the adult entertainment industry, what do you think of swinger parties? Do you have any thoughts on them?
Well, I mean, they're great for people who enjoy them. That just sounds like work to me. It has so little appeal. There's something that people sort of in the sex industry, the sex education industry, all like that side of things, called play parties, where you go and you maybe engage in BDSM, or you fuck your partner in front of people, or you swap or do whatever. It just, like, the very idea of going one of those makes my skin crawl. Like, I don't want to fucking... But do you think it can work functionally? Do you think that if you, especially if you're friends, and that's something that you guys decide to do beforehand, that jealousy will or won't get in the way? Do you think that can ever successfully happen? Oh, of course, absolutely. It can definitely happen. It can definitely work out as long as people are communicating. And if someone is either coerced into doing something to please their partner, or they just go along with it because they think that that's what their partner wants and they actually aren't ready for it, or it doesn't work for them, that's when things go south. So don't agree to a sexual arrangement that you're not into and down with. Don't coerce your partner into engaging with that.
Right.
And have a dialogue. But yeah, it can absolutely work out for people. For some people, it's the fucking best. That's their entire relationship, and awesome for them. Not into it personally, but yeah, it can be good. This obviously didn't work out.
I've heard mostly these kind of stories where it starts out fine, and then one or both couples get jealous, and it leads to a divorce, and sometimes they end up, hooking up and ending up with the other person, the other partner.
That can definitely happen, and that's. But here's the thing, that can happen no matter what. Like, people will cheat on each other, regardless of whether they're in a swinging relationship. People will get divorced regardless of whether they're swingers. I mean, that's just something that happens. But if you can have an open dialogue about sex and about your sexual interests and about being open or poly or swingers or whatever, then I think you're probably going to last longer as a relationship.
True. Good point. Poop man strikes a pair of car washes. The next story how's that for a transition? So this has been, I think, the 3rd week in a row we've had a poop story. I don't know why the news is so shitty, as Ella put it earlier, but this is another one. The owners of a car washing business in Kentucky are asking for the public's help in identifying a man who turned 2 of their locations into his personal commodes, a sicko they've dubbed Poop Man. The suspect is seen on 2 Facebook videos doing his business at separate soak and wet car wash locations in Owensboro. And they posted this video, and sure enough, it's this guy who was driving his car through the car wash, all right? The car wash is going. He gets out, goes in front of his car, and then just squats and leans up against his car to take a dump. I don't know. I don't even get it at this point. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand why people are doing this. And then he's going around to other car washes to poop there too.
It's so weird to me that this guy has like a car payment and bills and assumed, and like he's doing that with his time. Like it blows my mind.
Yeah, and he seemed like he's driving an SUV. SUVs are, they're not cheap. So he's got money. He's got money.
What does money have to do with
He's got
this?
that SUV money.
Yeah, where does money come into the decision to shit in a car wash?
It's like in all other parts of his life, you would assume that he's somewhat responsible enough to provide for himself, to pay for his car to get washed. Right. You know what I mean? And then he's just like, I think I'm gonna take a shit in front of my car.
Yeah. Why in front of the car?
Why, Ella?
Yeah, tell us, Ella.
On trial here.
Yeah. No answers from Ella. Great.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of bizarre behaviors these days in the world.
Trump's America. That's what's going on. Here's one last story. Oh boy, this one. I almost didn't bring this in. I'll play it. But this is a story. I'm gonna play just the intro to this news story for this next one, just to set it up, and let's see if you guys can guess what it is, because this is my nightmare. This is something I've always been kind of afraid of happening. But listen to this.
Travelers have to deal with a lot at the airport these days, but Matthew Demers of Clinton Township never expected this.
So I just used the men's bathroom, just washed my hands, and coming to find this out, it is a little disgusting.
Detroit Metro Airport officials say they are investigating an unusual substance found in soap dispensers in the North Terminal restrooms last week.
Was it cum or piss?
It was semen. This is something that because look, sometimes bathroom soap kind of looks like it, and it's crossed my mind. I'm like, what if, what if? And it's just freaked me out ever since I thought about it, and now it's actually happened, and I don't think I can ever wash my hands again. I'm never going to wash my hands again.
I'm going to raise you one. I have had the same fear and concern, but about those like refillable ketchup dispensers at restaurants. Like someone could abscond to the restroom, jizz in the ketchup, shake it up. I might be
gross.
Yeah, I know it's gross. That's why I fucking am afraid of it.
Oh, but that's such a weird one. Because first of all, you would notice that something's mixed
Not
in.
if it's mixed in well.
Yeah, not if it's a small enough.
Yeah, tell us more, Rocco.
I mean, I know a guy who has experimented. It's part of the science thing I'm into.
Yeah.
I've always said the one good thing about Detroit is the airport.
Oh, yeah?
It's an amazing airport. Much nicer than LAX. Much nicer than any other that I can think of that I've been to. Beautiful airport.
I think I've been there.
Detroit knows, like, the number one industry they've got is people leaving.
Yeah.
So like, they've got a beautiful airport.
Yeah.
And then turns out it's not so great, is it?
How did they find this out? How did the guy, one dude was like, yep, this is gets come.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
This is the story. It says, this is from fox2detroit.com. Romulus, Michigan. An investigation is underway at Detroit Metropolitan Airport, and it has nothing to do with the planes in the air, but soap in the bathrooms. Airport officials say they are investigating an unusual substance found in soap dispensers in the North Terminal restroom last week. Those who work at the airport say it is believed that the substance is a bodily fluid from a man, and they tried so hard not to use the word semen in this news story. But here, they interviewed one of the custodial workers about this, and they're asking her who she thought it was. Listen to this.
The question now is, who would do such a thing?
I don't even know where somebody would find the time to do that. Like, you see, it's kind of busy around here right now.
That's true. That was her concern. She's like, how would anyone even have the time to ejaculate into the soap dispenser? That's the thing. Yeah. And then, as a good journalist, they ask all the hard-hitting questions. Not just who, but why. Listen to this one.
But why would someone do that?
I don't know. A lot of crazy things happen in the airport.
The airport authority is in the process of installing new tamper-proof soap dispensers.
Yeah, and they went into detail with the soap dispensers at the airport bathroom. Now, those are kind of hard to get to. They're not ones that are just sitting there on the counter or hanging on the wall. They're ones underneath the sink. So whoever did this, went in there, and now they're suspecting that it had to have been a worker.
Oh.
Is this a sexual fetish thing? The pooper, the car wash pooper, the semen guy? Is
yeah,
it a thing?
I mean, it sounds like it.
Probably is, right?
You said this was Romulus, Michigan?
Yeah, Romulus,
How
Michigan.
cool of a name is that?
A Romulan put an alien substance into the soap dispenser?
Don't confuse Maddox. He's seen parts of Star Trek.
I have seen parts of Star Trek. Pretty much everyone has, Rucka. No one watches that whole thing from start to finish.
That whole thing, huh? Romulus is a badass name. And
yeah, it is pretty cool.
Near the airport, or that is the airport. So.
Great. Good airport, Rucka.
You don't like Star Trek?
It's fine. I like Next Generation. I like Next Generation just fine. Okay.
It sounds like that one guy really liked that name Romulus a lot.
Yeah.
Couldn't contain himself.
Yeah. No, I like
I like Next Gen.
Next Generation. Everyone liked Next Generation, and then Deep Space Nine was too dorky, and same with the Voyager. And I hated it all went downhill when they had that Ono, the guy who looked like
Odo.
Yeah, his
that
nose
was Deep
like
Space Nine, right?
Yeah. That's such a lazy design for an alien. Oh, let's take a human and then just make it so his nose wasn't fully developed. Like, this is stupid. He looks like Voldemort. He looks like a dorky Voldemort, right?
The show got weird.
Yeah. This show or that show? Yeah, that show got weird.
The show got weird.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you again for coming on the show. Ella, do you have anything you'd like to plug before we go?
Yeah, so cam4.com/VR if you want to watch some hot babes in virtual reality. I'm also, my business partner and I created the first ever live webcam platform in virtual reality, so I'm the world's first VR cam girl. We're working on creating a non-adult application for that. So in addition to the 3D 360 AMA style broadcasting, we've also built this cool little car that you can use to drive around my living room in virtual reality and interact with different markers. We haven't launched it yet, but we will be launching it soon. So follow me on Twitter. I'm at Ela Darling, and when we launch, you will know.
That's fantastic. It's really amazing technology. Because most VR porn is just a video, and it's, kind of a static thing. You're going to watch it from start to finish. You can look around and everything, but this is a live VR porn experience. It's amazing. You can actually interact with the other person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so
Amazing.
cool.
You're too bright for this show. She's a librarian, scientist. I always tell Maddox, let's behave like there's a beautiful, classy woman present.
I always do.
Let's be on our best behavior.
You know what? You should behave like that because I'm beautiful and classy, Rucka.
Good point.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
And Dreadmere, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on anything on social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at DREADMERE, Dreadmere. It's my name for everything. I've got a lot of content coming out this past couple weeks especially, and some stuff with Rucka too.
Yeah, you guys are collaborating.
We just did a video called Am I Gay?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Yes. There's a video you're going to want to see. It's speaking of semen. Woo! Look out, Detroit Airport.
I'm going to.
My bathtub is new competition.
Let's just say you can wash your hands in his bathtub.
It is a beautifully produced video.
Yeah, it's very well done.
Very well done.
Yeah, which I'll embed it on the website. You guys should definitely check this out. I'll link to both of your guys' social media and your websites as well. Thank you again for coming on the show. Thank you to my top unit key grip deputy cadet moderator.
Yep.
Rucka Ali. Thank you, Dreadmere. Thank you, Ela Darling.
Thanks.
We'll see Mikey Bolts next week, but most of all, you're welcome.
You're at a party and it's 2 a.m. and you're fucking playing Cards Against Humanity, I would throw a football into that. I would definitely throw a football into a board game if it was 2 a.m.
Just became a bully. I don't know, overnight.
He seemed like such a nice boy.
He is. And we talk all the time, and he just seems like, likes to sit around, listen to podcasts with his dog. And
What happened to Drolling Aussie?
Drolling Aussie,
Yes.
he did send me an email a couple episodes ago. I said I still haven't sent him his shirt, and I said I may have lost your email address. Immediately got an email from him. And he's like, hey, man, you're not going to weasel your way out of this. I do owe him a shirt, which is coming. It's coming, guys. I've just been so busy with the book and the show I'm working on and all those other things.
You would have told him, what do you think's going to happen first? You'll get your fucking T-shirt, or Maddox will finish his book, Donald Trump would be fucking president. like how many things have happened before? Like, what's next before he gets his T-shirt? Are aliens going to land?
Who knows?
Is Detroit Airport's soap dispensaries going to dispense semen? Are Romulans going to be jacking off into Detroit soap dispensers before this guy gets his goddamn shirt that you promised him?
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye. Madcast Media Network.